There you are, at last. So, have you made your decision?
I'm still thinking.
Don't wait too long. The Dead Walkers will be back here soon.
Arundel wants me to go with him to Carolthas. What do you think?
You should go with him. Carolthas is our only hope for now, and the prince seems like a good man. We would be safer there. Both the human and elven armies are gathered there, and I believe you may find some answers there also. The elven sages are some of the wisest people on Vertial. If anyone can figure out what has happened to you, they can.
It's pretty obvious what happened to me. A demon has somehow gotten into my head, and now I gotta live with it.
And this does not worry you?
Yeah, it's starting to scare me.
I can imagine. These new powers come at a price, and I fear that you, Vulcan, your very self, may be the price that has to be paid. You must go to Carolthas so they can examine you. I believe you must find a way to control this thing, or even rid yourself of it before it's too late.
We're gonna be able to break camp soon. Where is our next objective?
For now, we're going to stick with the Red Scribes. They haven't paid us yet, and they won't until we reach Carolthas. In any case, that's where we're headed. I sent Wolf on ahead of us a few weeks ago to see if he could find fresh volunteers for us, but I don't think there's much hope of that. This war is looking worse and worse for us. In 10 years fighting, the Deadwalkers haven't lost a single battle. I suppose we could hide for a while. But considering what's left of Vertial, that would be like hiding in a pile of ashes. We have to come up with some alternatives. And for now, I can only think of one. The demon. For the moment, it's the only card we have left to play.
Thy captain is less stubborn than thee. Methinks I should perhaps have chosen him as a vessel.
She is the best weapon we have. Since she's been with me, we've beaten a Juggernaut and a Deadwalker general. She could be the thing that changes the course of this war for us.
I never know if it's you or it that's talking to me. But I feel like we have the same goals. So let's go to Carolthas. We'll link up with our brothers in arms and try to find a way to access the World Heart. I'm not going to pretend this is the best plan I've ever made. To tell you the truth, it's not even a plan. But I guess we're going to have to defer to this demon.
Do you think we ought to follow the prince to Carolthas?
If you want to get to the World Heart, we'll need to go by there. But the prince's company seems both unnecessary and dangerous. Believe me, I know his type all too well. Invested with a mission he is soon overwhelmed by, probably named by some obscure prophecy. In the name of his family, or because of an idealized vision of his future duties as sovereign, he will give his all. In other words, all his imbecility. Chasing after glory and honor, unprepared and unprotected, he will only lead us to disaster.
Seeing the shit we're in, I don't think he's doing it just for the glory. He's got an interest in having everybody survive.
And in making it look like everyone has survived entirely due to his talents, and not those of a mercenary who can produce flames and defeat a general of the Deadwalkers. Do you really believe he wants you around just because he enjoys your company? Not to mention the increasing threat implied by our friends dressed all in red.
What do you suggest we do?
When we get to Carolthas, we better give them the slip and head to Blackfrost's domain.
Why should we go down there?
Because those lands are positioned quite close to the city of the elves, and like all the lands of the Ice Lords, it's a point of entry into the World Heart.
There you are, at last. So, have you made your decision?
I will fight with you at Carolthas. Your army may be our only chance of victory.
Idiot, thou hast sentenced thyself to death. And now?
And now, we will go with the others. To Carolthas, to swell our ranks, combine our forces, and face the Deadwalker army on equal terms.
Equal terms? Because thou hast slain a vassal far from his master? Do not presume too much upon this body. We draw close to the domain of one of these necromancers. Faced with his power, 1,000 soldiers more or less would make no difference. We draw close to the domain of one of these necromancers. Faced with his power, 1,000 soldiers more or less would make no difference. The power to slay this vermin lies within us. But it cannot be used from such a weak vessel, nor can it even be protected from those who covet it.
I am more and more powerful.
Yet still not powerful enough. And the city is of no interest. The necromancer will lay waste to it with a wave of his hand. While he tarries, we must make haste to reach his palace.
You said that I lack the power. I will not throw myself into the wolf's jaws.
When thou returnest to the World Heart, none will stand before us. Thou wouldst already possess the power to destroy this sorcerer and his like, if thou hadst but allowed the evolution of this useless body. Look upon thyself, thou art duped.
Vulcan, have you seen something?
They use thee.
You coming, Vulcan? Your captain will be wondering where we are.
Huh? Yeah, of course. Let's go.
There you are, sire. Right. Change of plan. Seeing how cold it is, it will come as no surprise to you to learn that the Deadwalkers have already been here. they're still close.
We must rejoin my father's army as swiftly as we may.
I think we already found them. Take a look around us.
There are survivors. Apparently they are camped not far from here. This soldier will lead us to them.
Prince Arundel, my lord, can it be you?
Soldier, what happened here? Is the king with you?
The Deadwalkers took us by surprise. The cold and the ice. We stood no chance. Almost all of the city has been invaded by the ice.
My father, where is the king?
I know not, your highness. But a few of us were able to escape. Lord Commander Valen has built a camp close by the city.
Valen is here. Take us to his camp.
By your leave. Follow me, my lord.
My prince, we had lost all hope of seeing you return safe. We have no word from Bastion.
Bastion is lost, Valen. We came into this war too late. The General of the Alliance gave his life that I should escape with Relmar.
The deserter. What business did he have at Bastion?
The deserter was fighting, while you and your wondrous army waited, warm and safe, sat upon their asses. I hope the result is pleasing to you, Valen.
Silence, both of you. Relmar saved my life, Valen. For now, you will consider him pardoned.
By your will, my lord. And I see that you are escorted by the freeborn blades.
In truth, they are escorting the Red Scribes. But their presence is our good fortune. They have already once put the dead walkers to rout in the marshes. This woman slew one of their generals before my very eyes. I will tell you more of this later. Now I must speak with my father. Where is he?
No one knows, my prince. The king was still in the royal palace when the river Estelduin fell upon the city.
The river? What happened?
'Twas like a great wave that froze all that it touched. We had seen the approach of the Deadwalkers' vanguard 4 days before, and we had raised Caroltas's defenses in preparation. Not even the sight of 10 juggernauts would have feared us. But we never dreamt that an Ice Lord would come to lead the assault himself. He walked calmly to within an arrow's flight of the gates, never once speaking. And then, the river rose up from its bed to form a gigantic cloud that hung up over Caroltas. We understood our peril too late. Near all of our soldiers stood atop the ramparts or in the streets when the ice cloud fell. All were frozen where they stood. That was his signal to launch their assault, but we were already vanquished. We fought to cover our retreat.
We must find the king!
I know, my prince, but every entry to the city is guarded, and we cannot risk being discovered.
It is clear we will not travel 200 paces if we do not first slay the sentinels close to the encampment. Only then will we be able to attempt to enter the city and save your father.
I'll go find your king for you.
Vulcan, did you hear me ask for volunteers? Our mission is over. The Red Scribes have screwed up from start to end. But they're in the hands of the Elven army now.
Cap, since we're here, we may as well make ourselves useful, huh? And we've got to get inside those walls if we want to know what happened to Wolf and the other blades we left here.
Ah, Vulcan. You have no idea what you're getting yourself into.
That is why I shall go with her. I grew up in this city. We shall help one another.
My prince, you know well it is my duty to object to you taking such a risk.
And you also know that your objections will change nothing. No man here knows the palace better than I. If my father is within, I will find him.
By your word, sire. But I fear most what other things you may find. I can but put my trust in your newfound champion to watch over your highness.
Don't forget, you'll have to deal with those sentinels before you try anything else, Vulcan. Meanwhile, the lads will set up camp near the south gate.
Understood, Captain. Got a moment? I wanted to ask you a few things. What do you know about Carolthas?
It's a very ancient city. Far more ancient than it appears. The elves are master preservers of architecture. They shrink from destroying, preferring to construct new strata on top. You can find traces of Carolthas in works that are over 1,000 years old. Some buildings, like the Royal Palace, are of unequaled complexity. But the city also incorporates more primitive districts. And there must be underground areas as a result of all these piles.
What happened here?
As far as I understand it, the elfin army was caught unaware by powerful magic that buried them under ice in an instant.
They didn't stand a chance.
And how could they? Such magic requires the presence of a very powerful sorcerer, someone on the order of an Ice Lord. They rarely take to the battlefield, but when they do, all hope is lost. Rumor here has it that it was the work of Blackfrost.
Who is this Blackfrost?
Don't tell me that you don't know the name.
Don't take me for an idiot. I know what he is, but that doesn't really help much, does it?
He's one of the seven. He's known for his craftiness, his guile. He prefers using magic rather than his armies. In the past, he used to be more discreet. But for 2 years now, he's been leading the Deadwalkers' assaults, and is regularly seen in the front lines.
What changed?
I don't know. The Ice Lord's alliance is a delicate balance. It is possible that this is the result of an internal power struggle. He has certain abilities that make him fit for the role. Blackfrost is without a doubt very effective. Just look at the destruction around us.
Let's change the subject. See you later.
A good day to you, mercenary.
Greetings, mercenary. What can I do for you?
Can I have a look at your stock?
Good day, even if the expression isn't necessarily appropriate. Can I help you?
I have some questions I'd like to ask you. Can you tell me more about the battle?
Battle? I don't really think you could call it that. We got wiped off the field. A defeat they'll be singing about in 1,000 years, if there's still anyone left to sing. Just when our troops were getting ready to take the Deadwalkers' assault, that monster Blackfrost appeared at their head. And in a flash, the Estelduin left its banks and came down on the city, then froze most of our troops under these huge blocks of ice. Not many survived, and our city, well, you could see for yourself.
How'd you get away?
I guess that's the advantage of being a smith. The fireplaces protected me, and I had the time to escape before the undead showed up. Without my equipment, unfortunately.
Do you know your prince personally?
I've done business with His Highness, yes, but I wouldn't say I really know him. I was honored enough to forge the first suit of armor that the king gave him. But I guess you're not really interested in the past. I can tell you that he hasn't let up since the war started. Several times after he came back to Carolthas, I've repaired his equipment, and from what I've seen, he must have been in the thick of things. I suppose he's our ruler now, as his father, may his soul reach the duel, is dead.
What can you tell me about the king?
What do you want to know? He was lost in the battle, unfortunately. He was a great king, wise and cautious. Maybe too much so if you can believe what's happening to us these days. I guess that despite everything, we should be grateful to him that we are the last to fall.
Where's the Elven army?
Army? What army? Our forces were decimated by the ice, and more died after that, killed by the undead or by despair. As for those who are still here, their equipment is battered, and I can't do a thing. What can an army hope to do like that?
Do you know Relmar?
Do I know him? He's a legend for us. His repute has grown since this war began. But to be honest, it wasn't always this way. He robbed so many convoys and carts, every craftsman and merchant hated him, including me. But how can we keep hating him now? In the end, he was right.
Let's talk about something else. Show me what you have to sell.
Alas, not much. I'm missing so much equipment, but have a look. You might find something you like.
I knew how messed up everything was gonna be. You know what a pain in the ass it was hauling my cart here?
I bet. But we're lucky you followed us. We could use a good blacksmith.
Yeah, well, seeing what's left of the village, it's not like I had a choice. And with you around, business is better than ever. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
Let's see what you made this time.
We'll be watching this sector. Thank you for your help, mercenary.
Thanks for the help, mercenary. We're going to keep watch in this sector. If I were you, I wouldn't go near the main gate to the city. There are a lot of deadwalkers over there.
The Deadwalker's sentinels are no longer a problem. For now.
It's a start, but the main door is still out of reach. But now we're free to approach the city and look for another way in.
Until the guard changes. Or until they realize they haven't heard from them for a while and stronger patrols come down on us like a ton of bricks.
The die is cast. We have to go fast and be ready to fight to get our city back. If there is a way in, you can bet the Deadwalkers have secured it. Those abominations are everywhere.
Not necessarily. They're pretty careless when they don't have a general behind them telling them what to do. Victory will have softened them up some. As long as nobody raises the alarm, we should be able to count on that at least.
Let's hope so. And while we're on this subject, there's something else you can do for us.
Ask away.
The Deadwalkers still control the main road. One of the towers you took is near one of their barricades. When the undead notice they've lost contact with their sentinels, that tower will be the first on their list of places to visit, and it won't hold out for long. The soldiers I posted there will do their duty to the end, but if we could eliminate the barricade to gain as much time as possible, it would be a lot better for us.
Save your spit. The barricade's no longer a problem. It was in my way, too.
Really? Excellent. Now we can keep watch everywhere on the steps.
I have some questions I'd like to ask you. How did you survive the battle at Carolthas?
I was lucky. When we got wind of the arrival of the Deadwalkers, our king sent me to reconnoiter. I was outside Carolthas when they attacked. Over the days that followed, I tried to gather together as many survivors as I could. Alas, that was all I could do.
Do you have any information about what's going on in the city?
Very little. I can only trust what the last soldiers who got out have said. Apparently, most of the Deadwalker troops have left, including Lord Blackfrost. He assigned one of his concubines to control the region, but I have no idea what kind of creature we're dealing with. That said, if the Ice Lords keep to their usual tactics, they'll clean up the last pockets of resistance and start transferring their prisoners.
Do you know if there's any other resistance in Vertiel?
The rare information I get these days is not good. Several human kingdoms have capitulated unconditionally. The Chiller has apparently laid waste to one of the major elf settlements in the east. We have no news of the others. There are probably pockets of resistance, but they are tiny and have no hope against the Deadwalkers.
One more reason to hold here. We're Vertiel's last hope. What can you tell me about the Prince?
I understand what you're asking. Is he up to it? The answer is yes. Since the start of this war, the Prince has always been in the front line. He has demonstrated skill and courage, sometimes endangering his own life. He has, of course, taken some unnecessary risks, but the situation was different then. I think he'll be more cautious in the future.
I see. The young prince wanted to prove to his father that he was deserving of his affection.
He was merely seeking to protect his people.
Did your men find a way into the city?
If they had, I'd be fighting in the main square as we speak. I'm still certain there's a way in. It's probably right in front of our eyes, but we just can't see it.
What makes you so sure?
Carolthas is an ancient city that was built upon several layers. I haven't found any survivor that knows the city depths, but there just has to be an underground passage or a hidden entrance.
A passageway beneath the city, huh? Almost sounds too good to be true. I'll see if I can find one. I'll be going now. Now I've seen everything. The Deadwalkers kicking each other's asses.
I beg your pardon?
What? This one talks. What the hell are you? A lich? A zombie scribe?
We've only known one another a few seconds, and already you insult me. Charming, I must say.
If you aren't one of them, then what are you?
I am an immortal, superior spirit. And you?
So, you're an Ice Lord? I thought you'd be taller or something.
I have absolutely no involvement with that bunch of cheapskate conjurers, and I would never humiliate myself by working for them, since that's what you seem to be suggesting.
Oh yeah? Rotting flesh, check. Bones sticking out, check. Shitty complexion, check. You sure as hell look like a damn Deadwalker to me.
Tut tut. Did no one ever tell you not to judge a book by its cover? It's true that you're young, but use your wits. Would I be fighting my own troops if what you suggest were the truth?
All I can be sure of is that you're not really alive. And that means you're my enemy. Plus the fact, you're in my way.
Enough! I yield. This rotting body will not survive more punishment. In all my 6,000 years, I have never witnessed such power. You seem to be as unique a being as I am. What is the source of your power? What are you?
There's a demon inside me. A creature of flame that claims to come from the World Heart.
How fascinating. Even if the term demon seems to lack precision. Nonetheless, I must confess that in spite of my vast knowledge, I have no idea what this entity really is. At last, something interesting. I was almost dying of boredom. I suspect that exploring what's inside you will probably be quite exciting. If you will forgive the illusion. A gentle joke. Never mind. At any rate, I'm coming with you. Ha! See? I did it again. Oh, come on, do lighten up.
I can't have you tagging along with me right now. I have something to do in the city. Wait for me back at the camp. We'll talk about what we think you and I are later on.
Yes, I've seen where your camp is. Actually, it's quite surprising the Deadwalkers haven't noticed it yet. However, I suspect my unannounced arrival might pose a slight problem for your brothers in arms.
Yeah, I guess with your face, they might not welcome you with open arms. Just tell them I sent you. And try to be nice.
Very well. Do you know your way into the city? There's a hidden entrance not far from here. I'll show you where it is on your map.
Thanks. city is an open grave.
What have they done to my city? A curse upon them all!
We'll be lucky if we find any survivors.
We need help. Hey, this way.
You're a human. What are you doing here? And how... But it's the prince. Look out! Up there!
You there! Help us!
Shh. Shh. Shut up. This isn't the time to get yourself noticed. We're looking for the king. Where is he?
He's dead. You can't stay here, Prince. The city's not safe.
Get us out of here, please! They might send us to their camps at any time.
Go on. The way is clear. Hurry up and get to the support pillar in the north. There's a passageway there. Once you're on the steps, go to the cliff in the east. That's where the survivors have their camp.
All right, but what do we do if we come across a patrol?
We can't go with you guys, but I'll give you some tips on how to get out of this. To start with, don't stay all together. Send a scout out front and keep someone in back to watch behind you. And above all, make sure you stay quiet. The living dead aren't particularly watchful. If you stay in the shadows and you're careful, you'll be okay.
Thank you, mercenary.
I have one last piece of advice. It's okay to be afraid. It's a normal reaction when faced with danger. If you start feeling afraid, use your anger, and don't give in to panic. You'll know what to do.
Thanks again. And see you later, I hope.
I don't know, but it doesn't look right.
Son? My boy? Can it be you?
Oh, fuck.
By all the gods. Father? It cannot be!
Do not look upon me. I am so sorry. Do not stay here. Take the crown and leave this place.
Oh, Father. But what have they done to you?
I surrendered. Lord Blackfrost told me that he was slain. That Marshal Winter's army had left no survivors at Bastion. I had not the strength to even raise my sword. And so he changed us, remade us, the other nobles and I, and all those who had taken refuge in the palace. He wanted me to witness our end, so that I would live without defeat and news of your death for eternity. But you are alive. You live. Your mother and I are so relieved to know you live.
Mother? But how can I release you from this curse?
My son, if you only knew how sorry we are. You cannot save us. We are condemned to this abomination. You must slay us. The others, the Queen, the Count, all of these people. I feel their suffering. Hear their screams within me. Put an end to it, I beg you. Free us that our souls may be with you.
Sire, I can take care of this, if you want me to.
For pity, my boy. Whatever you decide. Take the crown.
He could see that you were alive, and you put an end to his suffering. In every way. I think you did what was best.
I know. And I shall have the crown, and all that it represents. But I shall never wear it with dignity until I have reconquered my kingdom and slain this Ice Lord.
We have to get back to the camp before the Deadwalkers come for us. The death of one of the Liches is bound to have gotten their attention.
I will come soon. I must first perform a ritual to free my father's soul from this unholy carcass so that it may stay with me.
I'll wait outside. Afford to wait for Arundel. Not in his condition. The Deadwalkers will be scouring the city to find out who killed their Lich. We gotta get back to the camp, fast.
We waste our time here. The fate of these people is sealed. The sole act that can defeat the Necromancers is to take back the stolen energy of the World Heart.
I decide what has to be done, with or without your agreement.
Mercenary. The Sentinels in the other group were killed by Deadwalkers. And there's a group of undead on the road, stopping anyone from getting through.
I'll see what I can do.
The knight knows this region well. He came here once before while he was protecting a delegation from the Alliance on their way to visit with the King of the Elves. He would like to reconnoiter the area. He thinks he can find things that would be of great use to his friend.
If you think you can find something useful, go ahead. But remember, the position of the camp must stay secret. And try and come back in one piece. Edwin, I need to speak to you.
What can I do for you?
I would like to ask you a few questions. Aren't you cold like that?
Are you afraid you're no longer the master of the situation? Because I'm showing a little too much skin?
I was simply concerned about your health.
Oh, how touching. But after having spent nights on end, trapped in a cage in the middle of the swamps, I can assure you that catching a cold is not highest on the list of things I worry about.
We're gonna try to take back the town. Any suggestions?
Yes, of course. You'll need to locate a unicorn, a few leprechauns, and perhaps a fairy or two. They are your last, best hope for retaking the town.
So, you're saying it's impossible?
You catch on quickly. The might of the entire elven army was swept away in a few minutes. The red scribes and freeborn blades are only a few dozen strong. Be realistic. Your allies are disintegrating. You'd be better off fleeing this place.
And then what? Wait for the war to be lost? Put off dying another month or two until the Deadwalker army finds us?
You could hide yourself and learn how to control your demon. I could help you and speed your progress.
It's tempting. You know what? Why not? I'm getting a little tired of fighting for lost causes. Just let me get organized and we'll get the hell out of this town.
I cannot allow me to simply flee. Step off of the path to the World Heart, and I will kill her. I will kill thee as well, if necessary.
Vulcan, are you still there? Did it speak to you?
Yeah. Seems like she's not a big fan of our plan to run away.
The need to reach its goal has grown too strong. Very well. Your demon will no doubt gain strength through combat. And this place seems the most appropriate.
I'm afraid you might be right. What's the story with this Mathras guy? Who is he?
It's hard to say. He's one of the living dead. Of that I'm completely certain. But he is able to do things no other species of revenant has ever done before. You must understand that necromancy, the magic that allows the dead to be reanimated, is based upon one principle: giving energy to lifeless bodies. Mathras functions differently somehow. It is not his body that has been brought back to life, but rather his mind, which has survived his body.
He says he's 6,000 years old. You believe that?
It is entirely possible. His spirit is in theory immortal. This magic is far different from that which is practiced in Vertiol. Instead of drawing energy from the world heart, he draws energy directly from the body he is possessing.
Could that have anything to do with the Ice Lords? Or my demon?
Absolutely not.
What happened to Carolthas? Have you ever seen that before?
Wait until your enemies have gathered and then take them by surprise using magic. The attack on this city bears the mark of Black Frost. To cast a spell capable of freezing a river, he would have to be here in person. It's possible that he's still in the area. He could be your key to the World Heart. Find him and eliminate him, and the door to your goal will open.
Thanks. Hey, Buffalo. I see nobody managed to kill you yet.
Not before I've seen you blown up by one of your toys.
How's the company doing?
If you were to spend less time hanging around with your new friends, you'd know. It's not wine and roses. Already there weren't many of us, and now it looks like our only hope of success in this goddamn war is lying over there, colder than my granny's tomb. We can't last too long in this situation. The captain has to decide to make a move.
I figure the Dead Walker army will find us before we get a chance to desert. Have you had the time to talk to the human soldiers?
Yes, but they didn't say much. I don't think they trust us, or the Red Scribes, or anyone for that matter. They were just as stupid as we were. They thought they were going to join up with a great army to be safe. As you can imagine, they're a little disappointed.
You think they'll stay?
I don't think they're in any mood to fight. Once they've seen to their wounded, they'll be out of here the first chance they get.
What do you think happened here?
That we are no more than fucking insects to those bastard Ice Lords. Just one of them was able to wipe out this city with magic. We have no choice if we follow the rules. We have to find another way. Maybe your little flame problem could be a solution.
Well, for now, we don't know shit.
Tell you what, if you save our asses, I'll buy a round of drinks every day for the rest of my life.
Now that's the kind of motivation I like. I'm going.
What is it, Vulcan?
I wanted to ask you. The Blades who were in the city, do you think they made it?
I hope so. I really hope so. After all, they shouldn't have been taking part in the battle. With a bit of luck, they weren't in the front lines when the ice wave struck. Generally, the Ice Lords don't kill those they capture. They like to keep their prisoners close by. Let's hope that our lads are amongst them, and maybe we can free them.
What do you think of this situation?
The same as I always thought. That all of this fuss has made absolutely no difference. We are in the shite, and the only sensible thing to do is get the hell out of here as quick as possible.
You don't think we have any chance of winning?
How can you ask yourself that question, standing in front of this devastation? Either you're blind or stupid. Good gods, a whole army was decimated in the blink of an eye.
Do you know Carol Thas?
I came here a long time ago, at the beginning of the war. We hoped at the time that the elves would help us. I was soon disavowed of that little fantasy. There they were, all safe and sound in their city, totally disinterested in taking any risk for any other races. I didn't stay long. When I learned that there was a battle brewing, and that the last of the human armies were gathering here, I sent a couple of our lads hoping to recruit some good men.
Let's change the subject. I gotta go. Edwin, I need to speak to you.
What can I do for you?
I'm going to need your talents. Come with me.
You offer me what? Sword play? suspicion, and sarcasm. Huh. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
I wish I could go out on a recon, but the captain says I have to stay here.
Mercenary, it is well that you are returned. A creature that seemed like a dead thing came. It claimed you had sent it.
Yeah. He's a potential ally, don't worry about it.
I fear I attacked him, and arrested him. He tried to talk to me, but I felt safer with it under guard, considering his face.
Where is he now?
He is with the Red Scribes.
Perfect.
They attacked the wrong person. How dare they condemn our king to such a macabre fate? My father. It's time for us to repay the Deadwalkers in kind. I want to see them destroyed, so not a single one of those dead ever dare set foot in our streets again. We're going to launch a massive assault to take back our city. It is time to turn the tide of this war. Vulcan, we will need you, and your extraordinary abilities. We have to send a small group to open the city gates. I'm counting on you. I know that you can be stealthy and incredibly effective. A few soldiers will be going with you. This is our best chance. Black Frost doesn't seem to be here anymore, and most of his forces went with him. But before we launch the assault, we need to strengthen our army. I've been told there are prisoners in the city. If we free those soldiers, we can add them to our ranks. We're also going to need to get our equipment in as good shape as possible. We're fortunate that our smith has survived. Let us hope he'll be able to provide us with everything we need. But it's better to make sure.
Thou knowest that Black Frost's palace will take us to the World Heart, yet still thou doth waste thy time in vain battles. Thy stupidity knows no bounds.
Vulcan, I need your help.
What? Sorting books? Observing swamp critters? You don't think I have better things to do right now?
That's not fair. I'm not stupid. I understand that what is most important now is the fight, and our soldiers...
The Freeborn Blades will do just fine, and don't you worry about that.
Not them, the other human soldiers.
What's the problem?
I'm not sure we can count on them. They've already lost the war. They're only staying here because the elves are protecting them, but they've got no fight left in them. They have to believe they can win. They have to fight alongside the elves and the Freeborn Blades. I've tried talking with them, but they treat me like a child. Maybe they would listen if you would talk to them.
Me? Most regular army guys don't have any time for mercenaries.
They just need to get their spirit back, boost their morale. I'm sure you could find some words to help them.
Vulcan, come here. I need to talk to you about something. While you were in the city, the Deadwalkers apparently began stirring. Several scouts have disappeared without a trace. They can't just have been ambushed by chance. Someone must have given their roots to our enemies. I'm afraid we have a traitor among us. Though if that's the case, I don't understand why we haven't been attacked by the Deadwalkers yet. What's really troubling is that these disappearances pretty much correspond to your arrival here, which means that your living dead friend is the prime suspect. Even if it's just as possible that it's one of the Red Scribes, or even one of your people.
And why can't it be one of your people?
Why would he do that? And above all, why would he wait until now to betray us?
Maybe he reacted to the prince's return. He may have expected you to lay down your weapons. And when he saw you were gaining hope again, he decided to speed things up.
Maybe. Regardless, we have to find the spy and silence him. You have demonstrated your effectiveness and discretion. Can you take care of this?
Of course. I'll look into it. Since you arrived, the enemy seems to be aware of our every move.
Truly. Surprising that they haven't yet arrived here to destroy this camp. Most interesting. Or perhaps very stupid. In any event, I do feel sorry for you. One doesn't seem to be able to put one's trust in anyone these days.
You don't understand. What I want is...
But I understand perfectly, my dear girl. I'd merely hoped that you were above this kind of nonsense. Since my arrival here, I've been surrounded by your friends, something that rather precludes the possibility of me talking to the enemy. I have not once left the camp, and no one deigns to speak to me of strategy, which is a pity, given the evident levels of incompetence of your generals. Thus, it seems obvious that these suspicions are unfounded. You know, since arriving here, I have the odd feeling of standing in a turnip field.
A turnip field?
Yes. It must be all the superior intelligences that surround us. Trust me, child. You should leave this area as swiftly as you may.
You'd know more about the Deadwalkers than us. Who do you think the spy is?
Walking around in a dead body doesn't make one an expert on all other dead things, young woman. In fact, I find this suggestion vaguely insulting. But I have learned to trust my experience, something that you, despite your youth, should attempt to do also. I imagine we could quite easily reduce the possibilities. Firstly, the traitor must be able to enter and leave the camp without being stopped. Then, it must be someone who can observe your comings and goings without drawing attention to themselves. Lastly, it is someone who knows your plans. Someone who knows your military commander's orders. That alone excludes a large number, particularly the undead here. In your place, I should go and question the camp watchman. Logic suggests they will have seen something.
Thanks for the tips. I'll get right on it. Let's change the subject. Who are you exactly?
I am Mathras, immortal and unique.
Right. So why aren't you out there with your Deadwalker pals?
First of all, I don't have any pals. I'm a little too old for that. Secondly, I find your implication that I'm associated with them most unpleasant. I have nothing in common with those dead things. I've been around for over 6,000 years, and I'm still very much alive, thank you. I admit this body is looking a little worn.
6,000 years old? Wow. You don't look a day over 3,500.
You're too kind. Very delicate of you to say so. Nonetheless, these Deadwalkers are simply corpses that are animated by magic. Whereas I am an immortal spirit who changes bodies when they wear out. There's absolutely no similarity.
But that's awful. You steal bodies?
Alas, voluntary donations are hard to come by. If you hear of any, do let me know. I'm on the lookout. But if it reassures your delicate sensibilities, I generally choose dead bodies.
We need to talk about your combat style.
What would you like best? Perhaps I should use Espehor the Ancient's fighting technique. Or something more visceral, like that of Manipur Three Blades.
Maybe. Hey, don't change anything.
My dear, your indecision is really quite worrisome.
I want to ask you a couple of questions. Why did you come to Thas?
Why not? There's one thing you should know about eternity. It can be rather dull. So I do my very best to be in the right place at the right time. The place where it's the most fun.
Fun? You think this is fun?
Well, distracting then, if you prefer. What do you expect? I'm just so bored. The End of the World is a show I wouldn't want to miss.
What do you know about the Deadwalkers?
Apart from the fact that they're an incongruous mass of corpses with appalling bad taste that are animated through the use of magic, nothing. I can tell you that the power necessary for their creation, and to keep them working, is far beyond the magical abilities of any of your contemporaries. And since it's obvious they're incapable of any decision-making or strategy, they are clearly being controlled from a distance. All of which suggests the Ice Lords who are controlling these things are rather powerful. Something, I grant you, quite difficult to believe when one saw them start out at the same pitiful level of incompetence as their brothers, the Red Scribes.
In 6,000 years, have you ever seen a situation as desperate as this one?
Honestly? Well, no. You are, as you might put it, fucked. Or at least the mortals seem to be. But you carry something within you that may modify things somewhat. And it is this seemingly insignificant detail, this flap of a butterfly's wing, which may eventually change the apparently manifest destiny of the world as you know it. This demon, as you call it, has never before walked the earth. Neither he, neither it, nor any other of its kind. If they had, I would know of it, believe me. Consequently, and in spite of the evident futility of such a sentiment, there may be grounds for you to feel a slight glimmer of hope. That is, of course, if it is your desire to avert disaster.
Well, that's comforting. What happened to the Elven King?
I think he was simply lacking in strength of will and determination. They transformed him into an arch-lich. It's a particularly delicate and extremely dangerous magical process that could only be performed by an Ice Lord. It can only be performed on an elf, and then only one who is desperate to live.
How so?
Elves have many flaws, but most of them do have a very profound sense of duty. If an elf believes he is going to be tortured to make him reveal the secrets of his people, for example, he can literally will himself to die. It would seem that this king was desperate to continue living at any price, rather than dying with honor. That is what allowed them to turn him into an arch-lich.
Do you have any ideas about what I am?
In all my long lives, I've never seen your like. Even the term demon seems to be designed to cause confusion. I have seen real demons when I lived as a war drum player amongst the dwarves.
Dwarves are just a legend. You're making fun of me.
I would never mock someone as charming as yourself. Well, almost never. Thus the dwarves did exist, and I was once one of them. They used to use these little creatures, barely the size of toddlers, in their enormous forges. They were little red creatures with tiny horns and a wicked air about them. You see, they were able to survive in the flames. The dwarves called them demons. You look a little like one of them, only larger and more gracious, of course. And you have an even more pronounced affinity with fire. I will reserve judgment about the wicked attitude for now. I believe this affinity with flames is no coincidence. You are clearly a response, a weapon, and your purpose is to face the Ice Lords. It is entirely possible that you are the fruit of an attempt to rebalance the forces of nature. Alas, I have no idea which entity is behind all of this.
How are things with Sybil?
I am quite moved by the child. Her hunger for knowledge reminds me of myself in the distant past, when I was young and still living in my first body. Nonetheless, she is far less attractive than you, and the poor child is about as transparent as spring water.
I'm gonna need your experience, Mathras. Come with me.
I confess I was beginning to yearn for your delightful company.
Greetings, mercenary. What can I do for you?
Can I have a look at your stock?
Well, you again. Can I help you?
Show me what you have to sell.
Alas, not much. I'm missing so much equipment, but have a look.
An undead? In our camp? Aren't you afraid it'll communicate with its masters?
It's a calculated risk. Your friend Edwin told me that she can interrogate those creatures, so we captured one.
You really can do some pretty weird things.
Listen, Vulcan. We're not going to turn down any information. If we can find out how to haul our asses out of the fire, I don't see how it can hurt. Ready to make it talk?
If our fire breather doesn't need me right away, I can start getting ready.
I was just passing by. You don't need me to make it talk, right? I'll let you take care of that.
The knight has come to ask help from his friend. While on reconnaissance, he spotted a convoy which he thinks should be stopped. A group of dead walkers transporting an object. He thinks they should be attacked and the object taken from them while there is still time. The broken road will only slow them a little. The knight and his friend must get there as quickly as possible.
Do you really need my help? Can't you fight them alone?
If the one who carries the object should escape during the assault, it would be regrettable, and the combat would be wasted. If two should attack together, success is more likely.
Okay then, let's go for it. I have to go somewhere with Ranvold. Wait for me here.
Ah, the bubbling impatience of youth. I shall miss you, my dear. Take care.
That is not the right direction. The hunter who hesitates will see his prey far away now. He must concentrate on his goal. And his companion will not catch them. It's an opportunity lost. Hopes that his friend does not regret joining him in this assault.
You were right. It was worth it. Especially if we take the time to strip the others before we head back.
Have you heard about all this spy business?
Yeah, the elf commander told me. They suspect us. Us and the Red Scribes.
Now that would be priceless. If that long-faced twat accuses us of being traitors.
Who do you think it could be?
I confess that at first I thought it was your pal who looks like you just dug him up.
Mathras? Honestly, I don't think so.
I agree. I realized that since he's permanently surrounded by the scribes, he'd have a hard job finding the time to betray us.
Do you think it's one of the scribes?
It's possible. After all, it wouldn't be the first time they've shagged us while we had our backs turned. But whoever the mole is, has to know their way around, and not be scared to go outside on their own. Can you see any of those snot-nosed weeds taking that kind of risk? The most likely, whatever Commander Pointy Ears thinks, is that one of his boys is a turncoat. Go and check with Buffalo. I saw him chasing one a while back.
Considering the size of him, I doubt he caught the guy. I'll go ask him. You know, I wanted to ask... What about the interrogation? How's it going?
Your half-dressed witch says she needs time to get ready. Obviously, interrogating a corpse is a bit like going to a dance.
I gotta go. Edwin, I need to speak to you.
What can I do for you?
Did you manage to get anything useful out of this cold piece of meat?
You must learn to be patient. This kind of thing requires a little preparation. We don't dive into the memories of a dead man the way we torture a peasant. But perhaps you'd like to participate.
Yeah, sure, why not? I am curious to see how you go about it. Right. When is this interrogation gonna start?
Relax, Vulcan. We're going to start, but slowly. Listen, maggot head. You're going to tell us everything you know.
That's not quite how it works, Captain. It can't just answer questions like that. Tell me what you want to know, and I'll dig around in its memory to find the answers.
In that case, why not dig everything out, so we don't miss anything?
Even for someone as skilled as me, that could take weeks. Its brain, however limited, is like an immense archive that contains both recent memories and memories of its past life.
All right. I want to know if that bastard Black Frost really has left the area.
Let me concentrate. Yes. I see him raising the wave and turning the whole city into ice. This soldier must have been at his feet. Then he gave the order to attack, and gave orders to several powerful undead. Apparently he left right after. He appears nowhere else in its memory.
What are those powerful dead you were talking about?
I see a flying creature, like the one in the swamp, and others. But the image is blurred.
So is the army being commanded by a tormentor now?
No, I don't think so. They make good spies, but poor leaders. That said, I don't see any real generals.
Nothing that looks like that one that attacked the village.
No, but Black Frost will definitely have left someone in charge. Someone he trusts. This soldier just didn't see who.
What were Black Frost's orders?
You have to understand that this creature's ability to comprehend is limited. From what I can see, it was told to keep watch over the city. He asked to be sent living people. Prisoners. The other living people must still be alive and under guard. Other prisoners. And of course, that he be informed in the event of trouble.
Does he know we entered the city?
This dead thing doesn't anyway. But that doesn't mean a thing, unfortunately. I think that he... Oh no! He saw me!
Huh? Who are you talking about?
Well, well. Probing the spirits of the dead. You can well imagine that this sort of communication goes both ways. So, that's where my dear rebels are hiding, isn't it?
I must break the link! Right now!
Damn, it's freezing in here. Aren't you cold?
I've spent many winters in libraries with no heating. After that, you hardly notice the cold. Which reminds me, do you know if the library in the city is still intact?
I saw a building that looks like a library, but is it intact? Are you looking for any book in particular?
Not a book, many books. The elves have the most advanced culture in the world. Their libraries contain works of inestimable value. We should find them. They could be useful to us.
got a problem.
Don't go anywhere near them. It's a trap. I'm certain you could master them in combat, but they are only here to delay you and raise the alarm.
We have to find another way.
do. Pass me the books you have. I can't carry any more. I need to keep my hands free in case we have to fight.
Gods! Vulcan! Is that you? Help us get out of here!
Headed the southeast. You'll find an entry in the support pillar. Take that passage, and then look for an opening in the cliff face. The rest of the company is hidden there.
Got it. There's another camp of prisoners over there in the west. Not any of our guys, but maybe we should try to free them anyhow. Do you want us to give you a hand?
No, get out of here.
See you back at the camp. Good luck.
Gonna need it.
Please, help us!
Go to the support pillar in the southeast of the city. You'll come out near the cliff. Follow it, and you'll come to a rift. Go in. The elf army is there, and they'll take care of you.
Thank you. See you back at the camp.
That's right. could interest him.
I heard you managed to get back my equipment from the forge. I can't believe it. Do you have the hammer?
Yes, I have your hammer. Here, you can put it to better use than me.
Thank you. Finally, I can do something useful. All this battered and bent equipment is going to be superb again. At least our soldiers will die with dignity.
You got a weird way of looking at things. Anyway, I've got some supplies I could sell you if you need anything.
Excellent. Don't take this badly, but I have to get to work right away.
Excellent. See you later.
And even more bullshit. Don't wear yourself out, honey. We're not gonna fight for these lazy elves.
You have to listen to me, please. I know you're angry with the elves for not entering the war earlier. But today, with their help, we finally have a chance to win.
With what's left of their army? You gotta be kidding, sweetheart. They got taken out once. The second time's a done deal.
Black Frost is no longer here to support his army. And the elves are no longer on their own. We, the scribes, and the mercenaries too, will be with them. And here's Vulcan. She's helping too. And as you can see, she is no ordinary mercenary. I beg you, please. If we join all of our forces together, we can win.
I gotta give it to you, Sugar. You sure know how to use that mouth of yours. But you don't know nothing about war. All I see here is the remains of an army that I got no reason to fight for.
I just need to say the word and Prince Arundel will throw you and your men out.
Oh, think you're smart, huh? Except that your stupid threats aren't exactly gonna make us want to risk our lives. We don't want to stay here forever. As soon as everyone's attacking, we'll raise stakes and go east, away from all this shit.
You've got to the count of 10 to change your mind, soldier. After that, I'll be here with my company, and you'll be treated as deserters.
Oh, stop. You're scaring me. We're the infantry group of the Night Watch, buddy. You really think you're gonna scare us with your threats? What company are you in?
The Freeborn Blades.
The Freeborn Blades? Shit. Are all the mercenaries who've shown up Freeborn Blades? It kind of changes the deal, huh? Hey, guys! We're not really gonna be more gutless than the elves, are we? All right, listen. We'll fight with you. We'll show those elves what real soldiers are like.
Thank you, all of you, and thank you, Vulcan, for convincing them.
Get your shit packed. We're getting out of here as soon as possible. Our contract is over.
But Captain, after all we've done here...
Listen to me. We have no chance against the Deadwalker army, no matter what powers you have. And I'm not sending my company into a massacre. I didn't lead the company here to save this city. The only reason we came was to get our lads back. There was never any question of anything else.
Damn it, Captain, this is an important battle. You gotta let the Blades in on it.
Now you listen closely, Vulcan. I am the captain of this company. It's me who decides. You don't like it? Not my fucking problem. So either shut it, or become captain yourself. But you know what that means.
It means I gotta face you in single combat. You don't leave me any choice. We need to put everything we've got into this battle.
You asked for it. I'll make it quick and painless.
always knew it would be you.
You didn't leave me any choice.
This was well done.
We need to go find Prince Arundel. We gotta hurry up and plan our attack.